All right, man. What do you got for me, buddy?
I just want to say, your book really helped me draw that line between because I didn't want to mistreat women, but I certainly didn't want to turn into one of these beta guys. But so I tried to just befriend them, right? And then it slowly but surely chips away at you, and you end up becoming a beta. And before I knew it, I got divorced, cut all the ties.
You did the beta-sization through 1,000 concessions routine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was I got to the point where I was just started to go to more conferences and started to more towards my hobby and my craft, and she was trying to compete with me, just like you said in your book, where
Yeah, one of the red flags.
yeah, where she doesn't want to see you go into a place without her also going to a place, and it was driving me crazy.
She's only going to come along for the ride as a passenger if she sees you as a guy that can lead her. You can't lead her as a beta. I mean, she's not gonna yield to where you're going and saying, "Yes, roller, I want to support you on this mission." If she doesn't trust you, a woman's got to trust you to lead her to do a good job, and she'll only yield to you when she sees you as a guy that's worthy of that trust. Then she'll give it to you. Everybody else is invisible to her at that point. She doesn't see other guys, then, generally speaking.
Yeah, and then one of the things that I really didn't realize was I grew up in that Salt Lake City, the polygamous community, where some of these men are have very wealthy, but I just hated the way that they treated their wives, and
How
and I
did they
didn't
treat them?
want.
Because I mean, like you, Moth put over here, define mistreating women. So why don't
Okay,
you give us some
so
clarity on
they
that?
they treat them like they're the CEO of the company, and they basically built a corporate structure with no HR. All the kids work for them. They take all the money. All the women do analyzation about the kids and trying to figure out this one's good at this one's good at that. You should put him over here and have him doing these different things. So they treat them more like managers of their little unit instead
Of the
of
family, you mean?
yeah. But
How is
they
that? How is that mistreating women if you trust her to run your home for you?
because they don't care how their home is ran. They don't care about the kids. They just want to make a whole bunch of kids, and they sort of ignore the women, right? They'll just go get another wife that's younger. And so you see your mom who's being promised a farm. She's been promised horses and all these things. Like they promise them whatever it is that they want, but
Hmm.
they make all this money, and then they never ever buy them any of the things that they said they were going to do. They
Yeah,
never
so that's being deceptive. So I understand what you're saying.
yeah, it drove me crazy. And so I made a ton of money with Google Ads when I was in 2005
Hmm.
and they took it all. And it didn't change any of our situation. Everybody was still in debt. Everything was really strange. And it was, even though we're in the same family, with all these different brothers from another mother, some family has Nikes and expensive clothes, but my family was shopping at the thrift store, and it was just super strange to grow up in that, where you see this favoritization of one woman and just complete ignoring of
Did
some.
you grow up in a polygamous household? Like, did your
Yeah,
dad have multiple wives?
yeah, and my uncles and everybody, and
How many like co-wives did he have in the family?
he only had two.
Hmm.
But my mom came from one of the families that has 7 or 8 brothers and sisters, and they're all polygamous,
Hmm.
and they're all part of the bigger family. So my dad swooped in and tried to get one of the more entitled, or what do you call it, established
Hmm.
families, and
One
then
of the thing I noticed about a lot of these polygamous, communities in that part of the states, and I haven't seen all of them, so I can't draw a full conclusion. But what's been presented to me from shit that I've watched either on YouTube or Netflix is most of these guys, they're they're basically plugged in betas running multiple women in their lives, right? Like they're not unplugged alphas. If I
no,
understand it correctly, like would you say that?
I would say that definitely. I never wanted to be like them, so
Mm-hmm.
I literally just left, started with nothing, and figured out how to make it on my own, and now I'm to the point where I just really don't. Now that I got your book, it was really good to help me. I really want to be an alpha and get to that point, but I just didn't want to be that guy. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them as alphas because of they run all these businesses and they make all this money and they do whatever the hell they want. They're never home. They own motorcycles and guns and
Mm-hmm.
they do all the kinds of fun stuff, but they're just not good people at the end of the day.
Right. So there's a category in polygamy which is called the alpha god, and I didn't cover it in my quadrant because it's not very common. It's very rare. Okay, but there's a book called Alpha God by Dr. Hector Garcia. If you want to get your head around how that works properly, read that book.
Okay. Definitely. Appreciate it.
Did you have a question for me tonight, or is it mostly just a share?
Yeah, just to share, and then also, just to let you know that, I'm trying to get out of here, before shit gets too crazy. I'm in Florida right now, but looking at Thailand. I'm thinking in Eastern, women might.
Is Florida not a good state? I mean, I hear it's one of
Um,
the better states right now.
it's yeah, it's. I just don't really find people that I get along with out here.
Hmm.
There's a lot of super fakes, right? Happy, nice to your face, and
Where do you
then
live?
over on the Brooksville area, which is north of Tampa.
Okay.
So yeah, I just don't find too many people that I can actually get to know because they'll just ghost me, right? Uh,
You're talking about women, or are you talking about men?
Both. I'll meet people and they'll seem kind of cool, but then they just won't interact.
Well, well, I mean, you got to understand too that like attracts like, right? So, I mean, if you're attracting people that are of low caliber, then there's something missing in your life personally, yourself. Um, I mean, I don't agree with everything Jordan Peterson says, but the one thing that I will always support is, like fix your house first before you try to fix the world. So, if you've got problems in Florida connecting with people, you're going to have problems in Thailand connecting with people, right?
Okay.
There's still good people all around the world. I have many guys that I've connected with over the years, and a lot of them have like come into my community. They've stayed there, and they've all, not all, but many of them have like leveled up and become way better versions of themselves. And they live all throughout North America. Many of them live in Canada too, right? Some of them are in the same boat that I am. Like, they've been divorced. They're an unplugged alpha. They can't leave because they've got kids to raise, through the school system before they can go. It's not like they can move, the ex-wife and what's going on in her world. But if you're finding that everybody that you meet, men and women, are not meeting standards or certain expectations, there's something wrong with you first,
Okay.
right? So I mean, you got to look inside look inside yourself and try to figure out what that is.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
all right, man. Thanks for hopping in. We'll see you later.